Hello, I'm Scott Smith and I'm here to talk about Reiki again. This is the second in a series of videos, and today I wanted to talk about practice because I have an upcoming 7-month course online which is about establishing a Reiki practice. Now, some people have said, well, I already have Reiki and I already do Reiki and I already do all these things with Reiki. Why do I need a Reiki practice? How is this significant or important to me? Why would I want to take this class? And I really appreciate the Reiki masters who brought up those questions because they are great questions. Reiki, as I talked about in the last video, is its own thing and it's complementary. And I think it's important to understand that Reiki by itself is a great practice that you can use and offer as a treatment for other people. So a lot of my approaches to Reiki are two. One, as a healing modality all by itself, and two, as a practice for the professional or for the person who would like to take their Reiki practice a step further. We often go to, weekend seminars, or we do online training, or whatever it is that we did, and we get the Reiki empowerment, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, and we feel the energy to whatever degree that we do, and then we're tasked with going home and passing Reiki. And the instructions that we may have been given vary. So they might be self-treat, and here's the instructions on how to self-treat, or you may have had a teacher that actually laid on a table for you or walked you through the protocol for yourself and created a treatment, sort of paradigm for you. Like, this is where you start from, and you may or may not have done that after you left your Reiki class. So what I like to do with my Reiki 1 students, and this is where the inspiration for this class came from, is how do we take what we learned in our 1-day or 2-day Reiki class and break that apart into understanding each of those practices in depths, such as Gasho, such as the pillars of Reiki, such as self-treatment, such as treating others, such as consent, really asking before we send energy to anybody. And how do we mold that into something that we can really tangibly explain to someone of this is the way it works based on our own experience. After a Reiki 1 attunement, I believe, and I teach this, that your primary healing recipient should be yourself. And subsequently or secondarily, like your pets or your plants and the people around you. But really, we're learning to work with the Reiki and understand it as the guide, right? Primarily, this healing energy and what it means for us. When we dig into what that means for us, when we understand what healing is for us personally, because we have worked with those issues, then we have really a greater offering that we can put out into the world for others, because we not only understand the process of healing for ourselves, but we understand sort of the track or the length or the time that it can take for that healing to take place, specifically in relationship to the energy and the way that we work with it. So for every practitioner, that's going to be different. The healings that kind of come up for each individual is different. But in order to really understand that, we need to take the components that we learn in Reiki 1, the pieces that we're given that we may or may not have had in-depth training in, and take those and start to expand them. So that when we leave a program, such as the 6 months training after you attune with me, or you go through a 7-month program like I have here for you, we have something to say, this is my Reiki practice. That doesn't involve crystals and stones, that doesn't involve other modalities, but this is actually the modality of Reiki. This is how I work with it, and this is what it can offer to myself and to others. And I think that's super important. I came into Reiki, in the early 90s, and it had really exploded in the 80s, especially in Northern California and the Bay Area. I'm not sure about other places in the world, but it got around. And I had great Reiki masters, and part of their training, they were Claudia McGregor and Cheryl Coleman. The International Reiki Healers Association is now gone since they passed, but they had protocols, they had methods, they had offerings that they could give to people based on their Reiki practices. They got into St. Luke's Hospital in San Francisco. They went before the board of Kaiser Permanente and got Kaiser included in some of the local hospitals there at the time. These were women who set up the Reiki Free Clinic during the HIV/AIDS crisis in the 80s on Market Street. They were women of great practice, of grace, of respect, of power, who really showed me that Reiki is more than just a healing energy that you now have in the palms of your hands and you just go do it by putting your hands on someone. They taught me, they instilled within me this initiative to really want to build that practice into something else. So part of my offerings always are an honor to my elders and teachers in the Reiki tradition by offering an honest way to do this work. And this is one of them. So my 7th-month program coming up is a way to break apart these basic components for the level 1 practitioner, for any practitioner, regardless of your degree, who doesn't really feel they have their path or their footing with Reiki specifically, who may integrate Reiki into other modalities that we're doing, but really want to have a solid Reiki practice that they could turn to really tune into the energy and do something with it that's beyond just the attunement process or beyond what they've learned in a book. I'm not saying that the other way is wrong. I operated for decades, including Reiki, in other things that I do, but over time, I really wanted to add back to the community and the knowledge base of Reiki by creating programs that allowed for us to more fully develop as Reiki practitioners, specifically with the Reiki itself. So this class starts in August and runs through into the new year. It goes for 7 months. And we're going to start with some basics like meditation and really dig into that. Then we're going to have a whole moon cycle, because it's from new moon to new moon, to really feel out that. There's great bits inside there, including journaling, but there's no homework, right? This is not a pass or fail. I got a certificate of completion for the process for you. And classes will be available up to 6 months after you've taken the class online for you to watch. So if you need to go back to that material and revisit it, outside of your notes and outside of your personal practice, you'll have something to reference. So, Reiki, to really give you something to walk away from in this video, Reiki is its own practice. Reiki is its own tradition. Reiki is outside of angels and ancestors and everything that people might be adding to it. And I add all kinds of things to it. Outside of all of those things, it in itself is a practice that has deep roots. It has a lot of current to it, and there are spirits within those currents. There's energy within those currents. There's information within that current, and it's all there within those primary practices of Reiki. And if we dig into those, as you will in this class, you will dig into a broader, deeper, rooted practice of your own Reiki, which will in turn give you more to offer other people. Or, if you're just starting out, it is a great way to establish that practice for yourself. If you've taken my level 1 Reiki or my level 2 Reiki, you know that there are 11 months of training that happen after the attunement process, and you have all that material. If you're looking at this and you are one of those students, this is an expansion of that practice and those offerings here. This is a broader version of those basics, those suggestions that you took away from after the attunement. That is what they are. It will be online. It will be recorded. There will be handouts, and you will have exercises to take away and strengthen your Reiki practice. So, Reiki is both a tradition with a set of practices that is valid and complete unto itself. And it's also a very beautiful modality which is adaptable to other paths and other ways of expressing it with other modalities. So maybe you took a shamanic Reiki class. Maybe you want to take Reiki with crystals. Maybe you want to take Reiki and include it with your massage practice. All of those are both Reiki and adding Reiki to a complementary practices, and we're going to explore that as well. So what will you walk away from outside of this? A Reiki practice all into itself that you can lean into for your own benefit. You can find out more about this. Sign up at starandstonellc.com. You can also find all my socials and everything there. Thank you for watching my impromptu video. Please like and subscribe, or follow me anywhere and touch base, say hello, ask me a question. I'm here for it. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be, and have a lovely day.